What's up, Ape Nation? This is Clay from Finance News. We have a huge AMC update for you today, but before we get into it, please smash that thumbs up button and hit subscribe. While you're down there, check out our description for a service called BlockFi. BlockFi is the easiest way for you to earn money with crypto. If you already have Bitcoin or Ethereum, don't keep it in Coinbase. Move it over to BlockFi so you can start earning up to 7.5% APY. Also, if you use my link in the description, you can get up to $250 in free Bitcoin for just signing up and making a deposit. Check it out. All right, guys, let's get into it. We have another Twitter thread from @FinWatchdog. Let's go. @FHFA prepares liquidation plan for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Rule change states that conservative investors and even foreign nations falsely assumed their investments in MBS were guaranteed by the U.S. government. They are not. The enterprise's guarantee of timely payment of principal and interest to investors is not backed by the full faith of the credit of the United States. The enterprises are required to state in all of their obligations and securities that such obligations and securities, including the interest thereon, are not guaranteed by the United States and do not constitute a debt or obligation of the United States or instrumentality thereof other than the enterprise itself. Nonetheless, because of the enterprise's federal statutory charters and some federally conferred business privileges, pricing of enterprise obligations suggested even before the provision of explicit Treasury support at the time of the financial crisis that investors perceive a full faith and credit guarantee. Investors may have been relying on this perception when deciding to invest in the enterprise's debt and MBS at borrowing costs near that of debt issued by the federal government, despite the enterprise's high leverage. That same perception may encourage typically conservative investors, including foreign sovereigns, to purchase enterprise obligations and securities. The perception of an implicit guarantee thus undermines market discipline and incentivizes risk-taking and growth at the enterprises. We're talking about $5.65 trillion in mortgage-related business, and it's 1. Overleveraged, 2. Not insured by the U.S. government or anyone else, 3. Chock full of low to middle-income mortgages. Each enterprise generally organizes its business activity into a single-family business and multifamily business. The enterprise's combined single-family book of business is in excess of $5 trillion, and the combined multifamily book is approximately $650 billion. Action, final rule, summary. The Federal Housing Finance Agency, FHFA, is publishing a final rule that requires Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the enterprises, to develop plans to facilitate their rapid and orderly resolution in the event FHFA is appointed receiver. A resolution planning rule is an important part of FHFA's ongoing effort to develop a robust prudential regulatory framework for the enterprises, including capital, liquidity, and stress testing requirements, as well as enhanced supervision, which will be critical to FHFA's supervision of the enterprises, particularly in the event of an exit from conservatorship. Requiring the enterprises to develop resolution plans would support FHFA's efforts as receiver for the enterprises to, among other things, minimize disruption in the national housing finance markets by providing for the continued operation of an enterprise's core business lines, CBLs, by a limited life regulatory entity, LLRE. Ensure that private sector investors in enterprise securities, including enterprise debt, stand to bear losses in accordance with the statutory priority of payments while minimizing unnecessary losses and costs to the investors. In addition, resolution planning will help foster market discipline in part through FHFA publication of public sections of enterprise resolution plans. Dates. This rule is effective on July 6, 2021. This is sourced from the U.S. Federal Code changes made effective July 6, 2021. I should also mention that Representative Maxine Waters has put through another rule to give defaulting borrowers loan modification options starting August 31st. And here we have a document from the U.S. Government Accountability Office posted on July 13th, 2021. The subject, Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. Protections for borrowers affected by the COVID-19 emergency under the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RESPA, Regulation X. Pursuant to Section 801A2A of Title V, United States Code, this is our report on a major rule promulgated by the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection, Bureau, entitled Protections for Borrowers Affected by the COVID-19 Emergency under the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RESPA Regulation X. We received the rule on June 28, 2021. It was published in the Federal Register as final rule, official interpretation on June 30, 2021, 86 Fed, Reg 34848. The effective date is August 31, 2021. According to the Bureau, it is issuing this final rule to amend Regulation X to assist mortgage borrowers affected by the COVID-19 emergency. The Bureau stated that the final rule establishes temporary procedural safeguards to help ensure that borrowers have a meaningful opportunity to be reviewed for loss mitigation before the servicer can make the first notice or filing required for foreclosure on certain mortgages. The Bureau also stated that the final rule would temporarily permit mortgage services to offer certain loan modifications made available to borrowers experiencing a COVID-19 related hardship based on the evaluation of an incomplete application. The Bureau stated further that it is also finalizing certain temporary amendments to the early intervention and reasonable diligence obligations that Regulation X imposes on mortgage servicers. Here is your homework. Biden-Harris administration actions to help state and local governments prevent evictions. The American Rescue Plan allocated an additional $21.5 billion for emergency rental assistance, ERA, that can be used by renters to cover arrears and make landlords whole. This is on top of $25 billion allocated under the Consolidated Appropriations Act 2021, bringing the total amount of ERA available to more than $46 billion and creating an economic and moral imperative for state and local governments to rise to the challenge of building a new infrastructure for getting emergency rental assistance to vulnerable renters and landlords. Biden-Harris administration's May 7th guidance has helped state and local governments move more funds to more renters in need, but state and local governments must do better. Money is available in every state to help renters who are behind on rent and at risk of eviction. Today, the Biden-Harris administration is announcing a number of steps to keep people in their homes by protecting renters and homeowners who are still experiencing shocks from the pandemic and its economic fallout. Following the CDC's decision to extend the eviction moratorium for one final month through July 31, 2021, the administration is announcing a series of actions to help state and local governments prevent evictions. The administration is also taking action to stabilize homeowners and support a return to a more stable housing market, including by extending the foreclosure moratorium for federally backed mortgages by a final month until July 31st. Guys, to summarize the DD, there are a lot of indicators that massive defaults are on the way. If Wall Street does crash, margin calls would occur, which would automatically trigger the AMC short squeeze. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to go down to the bottom of the page, tap that thumbs up button for me, and subscribe to the channel. And while you're down there, go get yourself some money by signing up for BlockFi. BlockFi is the easiest way for you to earn money with crypto. Using BlockFi, you can earn up to 7.5% in interest per year with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and many more. Also, using our link in the description, you can get up to $250 in free Bitcoin for just signing up and making a deposit. Check it out. I'm Clay for Finance News. See you guys next time.